Ruff. Just kidding. It's me, Elizabeth, from ShockinglyMe.com, and Maisie, the actual bulldog, is underneath my desk. Today's video recording is a little different for a couple of reasons. The first is I'm wearing my bulldog onesie. The second is because I'm recording on a completely different program. I'm using QuickTime Player as opposed to my phone or using Zoom. So everything's backwards. I don't know. It's weird. Anywho, as per usual, I've already digressed from what I'm talking about. But it's just one of those days. I wanted to be productive, but I also just want to sit on the couch, watch Real Housewives for several hours, and eat mac and cheese. So while the mac and cheese is cooking, the kitchen's actually that way, even though that's outside. Anywho, so I'm going to do this and try to make it quick, but also fun, while I'm just having one of those days, which is kind of in tune with the book that we're talking about today. We're actually talking about two. The first is One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus, who I actually know relatively little about. I should have done my research. I didn't. I would say new year, new me, new goals, but who are we kidding here? And the sequel to One of Us is Lying, One of Us is Next. So you have two books, one bulldog onesie, two bulldogs, one bowl of mac and cheese coming up, and a lot to talk about. First off, and probably foremost, I recommend across the board. Both of them were great. I was curious about this one, One of Us is Lying, which is about, and I'm sure everyone can figure out why I was thinking the things I was thinking. On Monday afternoon, 5 students at Reivew High walk into detention. Browen, the brain, is a Yale-bound and never breaks a rule. Addie, the beauty, is a picture-perfect homecoming princess. Nate, the criminal, is already on probation for dealing. Cooper, the athlete, is the all-star baseball pitcher. And Simon, the outcast, is the creator of Reivew High's notorious gossip app. Only Simon never makes it out of that classroom. Before the end of detention, Simon's dead, and according to investigators, his death wasn't an accident. On Monday, he died, but on Tuesday, he'd planned to post juicy reveals about all 4 of his high-profile classmates, which makes all 4 of them suspects in his murder. Or are they just the perfect patsies for a killer who is still on the loose? Everyone has secrets, right? What really matters is how far you would go to protect them. Because as Ben Franklin said, and I, Marlene King, quoted, or at least the Pretty Little Liars show creators, 2 can keep a secret if one of them is in fact dead. So, 2 initial thoughts were, wow, this is going to be a really weird knockoff of The Breakfast Club / it's going to be like Pretty Little Liars. And as it turned out, it was really cool and really well done, and like neither of them. I found each character, in the beginning, the women, all kind of the females, because they're in high school. Well, I guess there's women in high school. I don't know. Anyway, the high school female characters all kind of sounded the same at first. It took a while for them to find their own voices. And when I switched to the second book, One of Us is Next, which features one of the characters from this book, Browen's little sister, Maeve. Is it Maeve? It's Maeve. I just wanted to double check. It's been that kind of day. Maeve sounded an awful lot like Browen in this first book, but then they, again, start to get their own voices. But yeah, I thought it was great and creative. I think one of my favorite parts that I didn't notice before is when you read the inside jacket, it says pay close attention and you might solve this. I solved it. I was really excited and proud of myself. One of Us is Next, which is the sequel, I did not solve, and that one, which for the record does not say you can solve it on the, for the record, it doesn't say you can solve this. It says, come on, Reivew, you know you missed this. This book is what happens to Maeve and her classmates after the death of Simon, after that, murder is solved after that book. It's a new year. It's a new school year at Reivew, and no secret is safe. So you do have to read the first one first if you don't want spoilers in the second. But what I was saying is, other than sometimes the female characters kind of all sounding the same, both were really smart and really clever. I thought some of the arcs that the characters went on were a little more guessable, I guess. Maybe that's the wrong word, but Addie in particular, like the princess, perfect, picture perfect homecoming queen. Like, you can kind of see where the character, or how she's gonna, the character she's going to turn into, kind of. Like, she's still surprising and she still does things that are unexpected, and she surprised me in a lot of ways toward the middle and end. But there's that moment where you're like, okay, you're having a moment and like you get it. Or at least you've seen it before in other books. But overall, I would say that great books. Recommend them. One of Us is Lying is a little more Pretty Little Liars, Breakfast Club blend with some real mystery, and you can solve it if you want to, and I think it's really creative. Overall, I just like the inside jacket says. It's about 5 people going into detention, 1 not making it, 4 being suspects, and how that all pans out, and, you know, how each of them says, I didn't do it because, but why each of them have a motive to. And overall, I think it was well done. One of Us is Next is a little different. It's less, still has that air of like someone knows something, but it's not as you can solve it. I mean, I think there's clues to like some aspects you can solve, but it was surprising. And also you see some character development. I did actually find myself really, really rooting for some relationships in here, but it's just, I would say the most complex part for me, or the hardest part to buy into, is they're all supposed to be in high school. And at least reading this one, I thought I was reading about college level kids the whole time. And I was like, oh no, they're in high school. Whereas the first one, yes, it was over the top for high school in a lot of ways, but it was also still high school. So I would recommend them whether you are a young adult reader or a 32-year-old in a bulldog onesie who got them for Christmas and was pumped to read both of them. Although I will update or just throw in a side note, apparently young adult goes from 18 to 26-year-olds. Just found that out. I thought that was weird. I don't know why I thought that was weird. Maybe it's because I'm in my 30s now. But either way, also meant to do this before, but I didn't. Perhaps instead of binge watching Housewives, which they're probably going to win, One of Us is Lying is now a show, which like I just didn't know at all, had no idea until I turned on the TV the other day. We recently got a new streaming service, which is funny because I know how to work none of them. But this one, I was given instructions for how to turn on and how to put my show on. And there's a show called One of Us is Lying based on this book. So I'm super jazzed to see how that show comes out, and maybe we'll talk about that next time. But either way, I wish everyone a wonderful night filled with all of the cheesiest mac and cheese you can find. I hope someone important in your life, or someone who wants to be important in your life, buys you a bulldog onesies. They also have a Yeti and a Santa and a whole bunch of them, but this one is mine, and it matches my daughters, who are both actual dogs, and who are in the other room. But it is a great gift, and it's super comfy, and I think the company name is like Fuzzies or something. You can find it on Amazon. I might try to link it below. Who knows? I'm not very good at that. But that was it. That was all. We can just stop talking now. Have a great night. Oh. Have a great night. Take 2, because I forgot to say, please check out shockinglyme.com if you'd like to read some short stories. There haven't been a ton of new ones lately, but there is a horrible name for a story. I think it's called Anna Maria's Snake, or like The Secret of Anna Maria's Snake. I wrote it. I should know the name of it. I do not. but it's the one that I used this picture for. Shout out to Sailor Jerry, both the rum and the tattoo artist. But yes, so that story is relatively new, and I'm hoping to write some new ones soon. So have a good night, everyone. Ruff, ruff.